it forward. He looks around and he looks at each person and says, how can I help? What is the need here? And what can I bring to this person?
He helps everybody that comes by. And even when I was ready to close up and leave, he told me to go ahead and hang around a little while longer. It may pick up. And he says, don't worry about paying the rent or anything like that. He says, we'll take care of that. And this is why I stayed with him as long as I did, because I would have 4 or 5 years ago been gone.
You know, when I think about Humanitarian, I think about people who reach out to help others, who will help people when they're asked, and who really do it without thought. And that's what I've seen with Ramin. He gives and he gives from the heart, and I think that's what a true humanitarian does.
He loves Tempe. Absolutely loves Tempe. I mean, he thinks this is the greatest city in the world, you know. I mean, he's always, you know, involved in something in the community. And I see him numerous times, you know, handing out water to the homeless people or to people that in general are just hot, you know, and just having a bad day walking or something. And he'll give out free meals, you know, numerous times I've seen that as well. So, and he helps out a lot of his employees with getting them cars, getting them apartments, or, you know, and helping them get on their feet.
I went to this school because I cannot afford to pay mine. So I went home that time. I was just like, so many things comes into my mind, like thinking of giving up, like I'm not gonna go to school, I'm gonna go back home. I come to work in the evening. He always asks me like, are you okay? So that time I told him like, I have a problem with my school fees and stuff. I'm thinking of going back home. That time he just like pull out his wallet and pay the rest of the thing. I was just so thankful, and you know, before I always think of giving up. I never thought like someone would help me. I always think like he's my father. Just because after that time I see how much he cares about me.
When I was young, I would wake up hungry, and I would wake up angry. Hungry because we didn't have enough food. But it taught me resilience. It taught me, you know, I got to survive and support myself and take the family up to this. But 68 years later, I still wake up hungry. Now I'm hungry to do every day, help somebody. But instead of being angry, I wake up, you know, humble, with humility towards all the people here. And Tempe has provided me that opportunity.
That was quite compelling and emotional. My name is Ibeh Agbanyim. My background is I'm an industrial psychology consultant, and I'm also an author of 3 books. My job tonight is to introduce my friend, the much that I know about him. I'm excited to share space with you tonight in our beautiful city of Tempe, and humbled to have the privilege of introducing my friend, Mr. Ravin. I know there are many individuals who are more qualified to introduce Mr. Ravin, but he has found me fit for the task, and I appreciate his kind gestures. While Ravin's contribution in Tempe have been recorded in the hearts of individuals who has come in contact with him, I would love to share my personal experiences and close with his outstanding engagements in the city of Tempe. Ravin has been a supporter of my journey and the journey of so many others. Mr. Ravin has been instrumental in mentoring and motivating me to complete my 2 college degrees and to write 3 books. My friend has focused on my goals and has encouraged me to develop myself and reach for my dreams. The human spirit knows no boundaries except the ones that we create. The idea of an African immigrant encountering an Asian immigrant living and becoming Americans brought 3 continents into one amazing experience. There are several attributes Mr. Ravin possesses, but I would like to highlight 2 of the most important. Number 1, his intellectual humility. Intellectual humility is built on the premise that no matter how much we know, we will never know it all. When we come to life with this knowing, we treat each other with understanding and dignity. Mr. Ravin is intellectually humble in his dealings with people. And in spite of the breadth of his expertise and numerous accolades, Mr. Ravin is often seen bagging groceries for his customers. I have witnessed him demonstrate humility that promotes healthy human relationships. He has made me understand more deeply the importance of education. Ravin believes that education is the key that unlocks closed doors. The second quality is altruism. Altruism is an act of empathy for the well-being of others. Ravin gives selflessly. As a child growing up in India, he experienced abject poverty. He knows what it means to go without food. His experience motivated him to invest in food banks to make sure that no individual goes to bed hungry. In 9 years of my friendship with Mr. Ravin, I have witnessed him giving advice when needed, quietly providing for the needy, promoting and paying for education for students, encouraging a quest for knowledge, and always providing food and drink to fight the pain of hunger and ignorance. From local and community perspectives, number 1, as the owner of Daba Restaurant and the Indian Plaza Cultural Center, Mr. Ravin lived out his beliefs, daily serving customers and his neighbors on the Apache corridor. Though his business is in the heart of what some see as disadvantaged area, he was not deterred from investing here. He believes his business should not be just profit-centered, but also community-centered. After seeing an unmet need, Ravin donated a portion of his land for the installation of an accessible ramp and crosswalk to the light rail. He serves the hungry, thirsty student foreigner, ambassador, homeless passersby, and those that find their way to his door. Because he understands the importance of the basics, and he provides this to the community along the Apache corridor, regardless of their ability to pay. In his focus on improving the economic and social vitality of Tempe, Ravin has provided summer employment opportunities to students from Tempe and McClintock High School. For younger students, he offers dollars for good grades. For little ones, he has purchased inline skates and a safe place to play. He is engaged in community development and revitalization, cultural activities, as well as numerous educational and community programs. Though his restaurant has received many awards, Ravin's personal accolades are centered on his work in the community and his generosity, stewardship, and cultural inclusion. Mr. Ravin also contributes to ASU, Tempe Sister Cities, Hackett House, No Kid Left Hungry, Make a Wish, the annual AIDS World Cup, among others. Mr. Ravin, we gather here to celebrate your perseverance, your generosity, and your humility. It has been my honor to tell you a little about my friend Ravin Arora, and I hereby welcome him to the stage to receive the 2015 Don Carlos Humanitarian Award. Thank you.
Namaste, which is the traditional Indian greeting, which translates literally into the God in me bows before the God in you. There's a God in each one of us. But Ibeh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Your words, your introduction will always stay etched in me as long as I live. Mayor Mitchell, Vice Mayor Corey Woods, Honorable past mayors, past Don Carlos honorees, President Gonzalez, Director Hanley, ladies and gentlemen. This moment I did not expect to happen in my lifetime. It's so touching, humbling, and overwhelming that I am trying to come to terms with this, because this award is bigger than me. This moment is bigger than me. The real Don Carlos, Mr. Hayden, and the 31 giants who have preceded me, their shoes are too big to fill. I'm a simple refugee kid from Calcutta. I thank the Tempe Community Council for even considering my nomination. Genevieve, I need to single you out for your efforts, but it's Cindy Kaminska who's the real award winner tonight for all her work, untiring effort, accommodation. I was away in the UK and she kept on going. And she kept on going. And now I think she deserves the break. I must thank and acknowledge, I need to, my rock, my wife, Clara, who for over 30 years has walked the walk with me through highs and lows, looked in the same direction. I share this with my wife. Growing up hungry, I saw mother adding water to stretch the milk so she could feed us. I saw her going hungry. She would have our leftovers. And I asked her one day. She said, no. There are some hungry person will be knocking on our door. He will be hungrier. So I'm going to give part of my food to them. So it's okay, I'll be fine. I can drink water. That woman could walk on the water for us. I know that. She would be really proud to see her son transformed from a refugee to a refuge today. I accept this on behalf of my mom and all the moms who plant the seeds of righteousness in their kids at an early age. She always encouraged me to give, and to give. I came from a very strict family because education was so important. Dad would often say that education is only an ornament in prosperity, but it will be a refuge in adversity. So school became my refuge. School became my refuge. All our well-to-do, rich cousins distanced themselves from us. I had the choice of robbing my childhood of friends or playing with the poor kids from the surrounding slums. I chose the latter, but I learned a lot. I learned a lot from them, how to be transparent, how to help each other. But there's one particular instance that I need to share with you today. I was 4 or 5 years old. These are all things from my memory because we didn't have a camera, we couldn't afford one. So everything that I saw, I remembered, I tried to remember. I was running past the traffic. There were no crosswalks in Calcutta then. And I fell face down hard in the center of the street. People saw me. I tried to get up. And then suddenly I see a pair of bandaged hands trying to help me, give me a nudge. I look around. It was the leper, a beggar who used to stay under the house where the apartments were. And he had dashed across in his dolly on that small 4-wheel cart to give me a hand, that poor leper. Okay. I held on to him for support, and all I saw in his face was compassion. I accept this honor for that unsung hero who showed me that soul mattered more than the body, because those able-bodied people did not help a young kid. He did. Years later, in my business, the soul of my business is still people, my neighborhood involvement. It's so hardwired into my DNA that I'm like a wounded healer because I'm so scarred by those psychological wounds that I suffered as a child, that I relate to my neighbors on Apache Corridor because I feel them in me. I feel them in me. Humility is an endless journey. It's not something that you do it on a yearly basis or an annual basis or come to a charitable ball and donate with your purse. No, you got to feel them. You got to feel those people in you. I feel them. I feel them every day. Dignity is very important to me because that's fundamental. I give not because I have a lot to give, it's because I want to give. I was inspired by Winston Churchill, who said, we make a living with what we get, but we make a life out of what we give. So my life is to give in one form or the other. And ladies and gentlemen, I appeal to your hearts and purses today to make this Tempe, great city of Tempe, into a real city of joy, which will embrace inclusion, diversity, empathy, dignity, forgiveness, and equality. On my side, I will do the best I can, because humanity is like an ocean, as Gandhi said. Do not give up on humanity. If a few drops are dirty, it does not make the ocean dirty. We should immerse ourselves in the service of others. But I want to thank all of you extraordinary people who are here, and some who have been on my train, these incredible passengers on my train. I could name a lot on my table today. I am blessed to have each one of you. Mayor Mitchell, Corey, Kenya, Sydney, Kimber, Hugh, Charles, Kathy, and a whole lot of people I see on my train. I do not know when my station is going to arrive, but today I didn't want to miss out the opportunity of saying thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Let me go off script just for 1 second. Sorry, Cindy. We just gave a standing ovation and cheers, thanking, celebrating you and honoring you. If you just received a gift from him in that speech, why don't we just clap again just to say thank you for receiving something. There are note cards on all the tables, and if you would, maybe just a way to give him a gift back would be just to write something encouraging, write something that you took away from even what he just shared right there, and you can leave it on your table, and those will be given to Mr. Aurora afterwards. Before we provide closing remarks, I'd like to ask our 2013 Humanitarian, also former Tempe Mayor and former U.S. Representative Harry Mitchell, to come forward and provide a brief reflection of Tempe Community Council.